I'm Pablo Armengot, and today I would like to talk about how to survive in a saturated red ocean. Let's start asking ourselves, which app do we currently use the most? Ask this question to hundreds of people at random that will pass in front of FIU on a Saturday at 5 p.m. when you leave class. With total security, the name that you will listen most will be Instagram. That's why most brands have been focusing their advertising efforts on Instagram for a few years. It is their largest channel of promotion and also the most effective. This article is aimed at all brands that day after day focus their efforts on the search for effective strategies for their Instagram promotion. Something that we have been seeing for years and that continues to grow is the influencers. Those people who, due to their presence and influence in social networks, can become an interesting prescriber for a brand. Brands fight to get the best influencers, to get that fanatic audience that feels identified with them. Now, does the strategy of using influencers to promote your products work as well as a few years ago? My answer is clear no. It is not that the influencers have stopped having influence on their fans, because, as you see, they are still handsome and charismatic. The answer is found in the amount of information received by users of the app. How many ads do you see on Instagram every day? How many times a week do you see your favorite artist or football player promote a brand that seconds later you forget? Many of the brands have adopted the position of promoting products through influencers, but is it as effective as they initially believed? Not anymore. And that is because the influencers that you are looking for don't only work with you, they have hundreds of brands behind with the same agreement as you. In the end, the post that you had been waiting for to give you that impact is the lost in the more than 10 photos that the influencer uploads per week. You have a problem. Your brand is lost in the amount of daily information that Instagram generates. It is pure mathematics. Let's take an example. You follow 500 people, 50 of whom are artists, footballers, models, or influencers. These 50 people upload one post each day promoting a different brand. Will you stop in every post? Will you investigate every brand, look for its values, or simply take a look to its other products? You can do it a few times a day, but not with the 50 brands. After this, you have already paid to promote your articles and have not seen the expected results. What has failed? The repercussion that you thought you were going to generate has been divided between 50. Your post was not good or your campaign was not good. It's about the amount of information that Instagram generates every day. So, considering this, I would like to explain in this video 3 alternative ways to promote your brand. The first of all is not to use the influencer simply as a showcase, but to use it as a part of the brand, as someone who is loyal to you and shares and preaches your values. The strategy that I propose is to have him launch several posts with your brand, that his followers see that he promotes something continuously, or that he simply uploads a photo with some product of yours without the need to promote any novelty. Let your followers see him as someone true to your brand and not as a person you have used to promote something. In this way, followers will see that the influencer supports your brand in a more human way and you will begin to gain their attention and interest. The second option is to change the type of influencers. Seek for quality influencers rather than quantity influencers. I mean, it is not necessary to always hire the most famous or those who have more followers. There are many brands that spend their resources in 2 or 3 people to promote a campaign without realizing that with the same amount of money they could hire 10 or 20 influencers that will reach more people. What I propose is to give value to those influencers with less followers but with a good ratio of interaction with their audience. In this case, I will give a real example. In the past, I needed to promote a product for a campaign. I am fortunate that among my acquaintances I have soccer players and Spanish artists, and they were able to help me with the campaign. Do you know who worked much better and reported more income to the brand? The artists. Artists who had 100 times less followers than soccer players. This is explained because the followers seek closeness, seek to resemble you, and seek to live the life that you live. In the case of a football player, it is impossible. They saw it unattainable. But on the other hand, in the case of singers who are just beginning, they can copy their lifestyle to look like them. And that's what they did. Each campaign that I launched with the singers worked much more than the ones I was launching with the soccer players. Therefore, I think the way is to have more real influencers, more human people, and choose the influencers that interact more with their audience. The third option that I propose goes through betting to the extreme for the values of the brand. This is one of my favorite things about marketing: branding. Focus your brand on achieving social goals that match the values of your followers. For example, if you have a brand of wooden watches, focus on that for each watch they buy, your company is responsible for planting a tree. Or if you have a brand of swimsuits made with recycled plastic collected from beaches in Spain, make a meeting in a beach to collect plastic with your consumers and give them a swimsuit to those who have helped you. Or another example, if you have a brand that highlights the values of the hood, young people, and soccer, show them that part of your profits will go to improve the soccer fields of the poorest neighborhoods in your country. These are small actions that will impact the audience and generate a strong brand image. Maybe this is the longest road, but it's the one that ends up establishing a very strong brand identity and is perhaps the one that benefits the most of the three you report in the long run. Bring out the human side of the people, make them participate in your campaigns, turn them into someone that is part of the company. In my opinion, to launch a powerful campaign and have a strong brand image and easy to identify values, efforts should be made to combine these three variables. In the end, we have to look for the human side of the consumer more, because, as someone once said, the best advertising doesn't seem like advertising.